Wangoma, I was told about your husband's case.
Okay.
Yeah, so can you tell me exactly what happened?
My name is Favor. I'm from River State. This is my husband. Everything started on January 5th. We were together inside the house, just gisting, laughing. Before he received a call, his friend called him and she come out and we can hang out together. We went out. That was around 5. We went out. So when he got there, he's supposed to call me because I told him that once he got there, that he should call me. So he didn't call me, so I decided to call him from 7. I started calling him till after 11. When I called him around that 11, I wanted to sleep, so I said I should try the number again. I called him around that 11. I called him first time, no response. Second, no response. The third one, they picked the call. That was as in hearing in the background was I said when I go to school, more than write statements. We go write statements and all those stuff. So I heard that I was scared, so I called the call.
My brother Kingsley is the 4th child of the family and the 2nd son. We're more like friends because we've been together the whole life we've been together. We've been a loving family. He's more like my best man in the family because we've done so many things together.
Between the next day, I saw his elder sister and his younger ones. When I saw them, I just know that maybe something went wrong. So when they came in, they were like, "How far?" I say, "Fine."
So when I woke up the next morning, I was very surprised when I saw my younger sister that's married and 2 of my younger siblings. So I was so surprised. I asked them, why the early morning visit? And they were like, there's a little problem. I said, no, I said it's Kingsley. I said, what happened?
The junior brother asked me, "You don't hear what happened?" I said, "What? What's happened?" He told me. I just smiled. So I started telling the elder brother.
He said he was arrested the previous night at a nightclub in GRA, the Boss Night Lounge, to be precise, you understand? That they trying to call his number at that very time. Now, someone in the club, actually, someone that was in the club that knew him, had to call that person that called one of my siblings. So, and that's how they knew he was arrested. So they started calling him, because the whole thing happened at around 8 o'clock in the evening. They started calling him from around 9. They called him, his number was ringing, nobody was speaking. Till the number now went off. Now, coincidentally, the wife also was even at home trying to call him too in the night, you understand? So the phone was also ringing till around 11:30 when someone picked the call. And when they picked the call, what she was hearing at the background of the call was, "She wanna be on a finish school, so I don't go invest on a finish school. Now we will help in a right statement. We can write a statement by herself. Now we will help in a right statement." So that was what she was hearing repeatedly that night. And someone called the call, and she called back again. They didn't pick till morning.
I haven't listened to the very touching story of this woman whose husband was abducted from a location, along with others, and then his wife could not reach him on phone, and later she found that he and others were taken to SARS, and then the SARS official informed her that they had traveled her husband. For me, it tells you it's a familiar story, and a story of the ongoing atrocities, facilitated by the impunity that protect officers who think that they are law unto themselves.
I'm tired. I'm just using my baby to console myself. If not, the thing is, it's weighing me down.
wasn't really too sure of who made the arrest. Like I said, let me just go back to the place where this thing happened to confirm, who actually made the arrest. So I called on my younger sister, the one that went in the morning. I called her, she came, she drove down, and we now drove down to the bus where it happened. Now, when we got to the bus, the place where the arrest was made, the nightclub, I met 2 other security guards that were just coming, they were changing, and a bartender, they were just there, they're discussing. Now, while they were discussing, I excused him, I told him that I actually came for the guys that were arrested the previous day. The security guards were about telling me something. While one of them, the bartender, he was sitting behind the door. You understand? I was just seeing him through the side of the door. He was using sign language to tell those other 2 guys not to say anything. So I fled up. I was angry. Fortunately for me, I was so lucky that the time I fled up was when the mobile policeman just came with his bike. He drove in and he was like, what's happening? What's happening? Like, my friend, what's the problem? You understand? What? Someone had told him that it was because the guys that were arrested the previous day, that's why I came. So he was like, no need to worry now. My friend, no need to worry. It was SARS that came now. The boys were here when SARS came. I was the one that cleared them. In fact, one of them even gave me his number. So he wanted me to, he now said I should come to the side, let him call the SARS man so, they can tell him where they are, so go and meet them. Put the phone on speaker. He now called the guy and said in pidgin English, he was like, officer, now me, the mobile policeman, for the boss, that club when they arrest those boys for night. How far, I beg, the boy, the family, they here. I beg, we on a day, me they come to now. What the officer now said was, no mind them. These people, they don't come our station today. Commander tell them, say, no, we carry those boys. In fact, those boys, we don't travel them. Those boys, we don't clear them, you understand? Sure, you understand? Nothing they happen. Tell them, make them go, no listen to them. Those boys, we don't travel them, we don't clear them. Nothing they happen.
Well, clearly, the case of Favor's husband, who has, as one of the police officers told her, has been traveled, which in police parlance means that he has been summarily executed. So where you are now is that the court gave an order to the police to produce them, and they are yet to produce them.
We don't even know the particular place because they are now, the staff have they are now denying that they told us that they transferred them to state CID. We have gone to state CID. They said they didn't bring anybody, no boy, they didn't bring people there.
The person
so
that
we are just
the person that told his brother that they have traveled them, was it the same person that told them that they transferred them to state CID?
No. The person that told him that they transferred them is like the commander, but the one that came for the arrest, the main person, is the Francis uncle. He was the one that told them that
they have traveled them. Okay. Do you have his number, his name and phone number?
No, I don't have the man's number, but I know his name, Francis uncle.
I don't know, because they're not trying. For them to arrest somebody, I hide the person, say now, look, at least they would have given him food, say, call your people. We've not heard from him, we've not seen them, as in, no way. They're not trying.
The Constitution is supreme and has binding authorities on all persons and authorities in Nigeria. What does that mean? As far as the Constitution is supreme, the last command that every law enforcement agency, every security organization in Nigeria should obey is the wordings, the spirit and letters of the Constitution, which is also where the Administration of Criminal Justice Act derives its powers from. And we should not lose sight of the fact that if the Constitution has said that the police has no right, in the course of their duty to detain an alleged suspect with beyond 48 hours. The police, as a law enforcement agency that want the public to trust them, should stick to that. And how should they be able to do that? How they should be able to do that is the deployment of adequate intelligence on every information available to the police, rather than go into reactive policing that give room to torture, inhuman and degrading treatment. You investigate an information and make your arrest to be the last resort.
As we were told, as she explained, they went to court to get they got the court to order the police to produce them, which is what they call habeas corpus, produce the person in court. And the police have not responded up to date.
Now we filed a case, we filed an application in court, Federal High Court to in Port Harcourt. The judge have issued an order of a release order, which has been sent to SAS like more than 2 weeks now. The case was supposed to be slated. The case was supposed to be held on the 17th of this very month that just passed. The judge wasn't around, so they shifted it on the 4th of April. Understand? But I'm talking to you now. We've not heard anything from SAS. I can't tell you where my brother is right now.
But this particular Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, which we shorten as ACJA, came into being to rectify all these anomalies, all these ills in the criminal justice system. There are so many ills that I can talk about. The issue of delay, which I've mentioned before, is also there. And that delay used to come from different angles. We have different actors in the criminal justice system. We mentioned the police, yes, because when a crime is committed, it is the police you first go to make a report. But the police, everything does not end with the police.
The police arrest. The police frames a charge at the magistrate court. But the magistrate court do not have jurisdiction to hear that matter. So the magistrate court will need the Ministry of Justice, the Director of Public Prosecutions, to issue advice. They'll issue a legal advice.
It is the legal advice that will state whether this person alleged to have committed a crime has any case to answer in court or not.
But many times the process between the first appearance at the magistrate court and when the legal advice is issued sometimes takes as long as 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, or you never see it.
You realize that before this law came into being, the police, they were like as if their power was without limits. They could do and undo. They could arrest you even if what you have done does not have anything to do with crime.
We've not heard anything. We've not heard from SAS. We've not heard from anybody. They've not showed up in court. They've not obeyed the warrant of release. Order of release. They've not nothing. I tell you, no. I've not seen my brother now. And this happened since on the 5th of January. Today is 22nd of March. It's almost 3 months now.
The state, continuing to commit mass atrocity on the part of the citizen. But the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, has been an innovative law that helps to check, the relationship between alleged crime offenders, the perpetrators, and the society by providing measures, democratic measures that has serious respect for fundamental freedom in the administration of justice. One of it is that it forbids the security agencies, more especially the police. We should not lose sight of the fact that in the Nigerian justice system, the police are the gatekeeper. And they have the greatest of contacts with the citizen on a daily basis. But unfortunately, the contact situation between the police and members of the public is always involuntary. Involuntary in the sense that it happens only when the police are doing their quote and unquote lawful duty. It doesn't give room for a non-cohesive interaction that will engender trust and confidence. So in the process of doing this, there is a tendency whereby the police keep violating the rights of an alleged suspects or defendants, as the ACJA refer to them. And not only that, they fail woefully in building the confidence of the public to relate with them in proactive crime prevention and control. And currently, if you look at the Nigerian justice system, as far as the police is concerned, what we have is a reactive system of crime prevention and control, which tends to further violate human rights.
The whole situation has been disheartening. Imagine the whole family, my parents, my aged dad and mom, since this thing happened, their health condition has been something that's deteriorated seriously.
Since then, I have not been strong at all, and I'm so bad concerning this matter. We have go here and there, no way, and the thing is giving me tough time, giving me heartbreak.
70% of the entire prison population are people awaiting trial, and experience has shown that many of such people spend more time in prison awaiting trial than the duration of if they were to be imprisoned. There are people whose offenses or alleged offenses may attract only 2 years, but they have spent 10 years awaiting trial.
A case in point is the now popular story of Babagana Bulama, which we represented, which we were involved in. He was spent 5 years in prison awaiting DPP's advice. After that, he was finally charged. The advice came out, he was finally charged. And he spent another 3 years going to court almost on a monthly basis before he was eventually released. So he spent 8 years in prison awaiting trial. And there are even more pathetic stories. We have the story of Maman Keita, who spent about 13 years in prison awaiting trial. He never for once was an advice issued until we filed a fundamental rights application on his behalf before the court now released him and awarded damages against the state.
There are also a lot of people in prison awaiting trial whose files are missing.
So within the system, sometimes some of these things get missing. We have had a case where about 35 case files got missing in one of the cases we're doing.
So what that shows is that not much is being done to check the inflow of persons into prison and this is of course as a result of the random, indiscriminate random raids that police carry out indiscriminate arrests of people. Most of those people are people who were arrested indiscriminately, and because they were not able to pay bribe for bail, they are charged for frivolous, offenses, and they end up in prison.
What we call raiding in our own parlance here. Somebody is just moving on the street and he gets arrested and is locked up, is put in a bus, is locked up, and from there to the police station. Oga, how much can you bring? I don't have money and my parents are not in. Okay, write a charge against him and you just find armed robbery. And then the person is there languishing in prison. One day in court, life in jail. He's there for 10 years before. If he's lucky, maybe one day the chief judge will come and say, okay, we are releasing this. And if he's not lucky, his case gets to trial and one reason or the other is sentenced, sometimes even to death. So there are cases like that, you understand? So, and like that, so through different means people get into prison. And these are just some of the ways people get into prison.
The police are used to accuse people of, if it is not armed robbery, it is courtesan. And just simply because such people were not able to pay money for their release. 30 people may be arrested at the same time. If 20 are able to pay, they are released. The other 10 who are not able to pay are charged to court. Such people are found in prisons. So when you talk about awaiting trial, many people are in prison who ought not to be in prison.